I'm Chris Lehenbauer, back for video number 5 in our electronics mounting series. If you remember back in videos 3 and 4, we introduced the Legos for electronics concept. I sense a little frustration because we haven't actually mounted any electronics yet. It's about time to do that. Let's get started. There are 5 mounting methods used with our system, depending on what you're trying to mount. Those 5 methods are direct mount, phase dock slides, raised direct mount, piggyback mount, and hacking the workbench. Back in video 2, we looked closely at the components that you might be mounting. Quick refresher. If the component you're mounting has a lot of things on the back like solder joints, chips, resistors, SD card slots, and so on, you're going to want to raise that component and protect that surface. We'll talk about that in the next video. On the other hand, if what you're mounting is simple, uncomplicated, and relatively robust with a flat surface on the back, you can mount it directly to that surface. So let's talk about the direct mount method. As we said before, with this approach, you mount your component directly to the click without raising it at all. This works well for batteries, breadboards, any component that doesn't need to be protected on the bottom side. And even if you use some kind of a permanent mounting method like super glue, you still have complete flexibility. Remember Legos, no matter what the top side looks like, as long as the bottom side, in this case, remains compatible with the workbench standard, you can still move the entire component freely around the matrix anywhere you want. So let's go ahead and mount something. If your component has mounting holes like this terminal block, you can just mount it directly to the click using screws. You want to use sheet metal screws, sometimes called self-tapping because they don't need a pre-threaded hole. In fact, with our clicks, they don't even need a pre-drilled hole. You just drive them straight into the click. Remember to avoid putting screws into the spring corners of the click because that will keep the spring feet from flexing and interfere with the way the click is designed to work. Here's a tip. Because we're not pre-drilling, I like to use a power driver. The key is to use enough power without using too much, and you want to use the clutch to control that so that you don't strip out either the plastic or the screw head. Let's mount this terminal block first. I'm going to use a number 6 screw. I'm going to take this one out. First step is line up your component where you want it, drop in the screw, and apply power. I'm going to put the second screw in. And as you can see, the screws protrude a little bit from the bottom, but that doesn't bother anything. They're pretty well protected. Next, we're going to mount this little speaker, which is more challenging. First off, we're going to use smaller number 2 screws. Secondly, notice that the mounting fins are not on the bottom, so you have to be careful not to put too much pressure on them so that you don't break them. Couple of tips. Swap out the number 2 standard Phillips driver for a number 1 because they're smaller screws, and start it with a power driver, but finish with a manual by hand so that you don't break off those little tabs. Okay. Let's do this. Again, line up your component. Start by dropping in the first screw. Now these are smaller, so they might fight you a little bit as you line things up. Stop short. Go to the next screw. And just take your time because these things are small. Stop short and finish up by hand. And away we go. There you have it. And like we said, you have complete design freedom. If this isn't good, you can easily move it wherever you like and carry on with your project. That's it for today. Please come back and join us next time when we talk about mounting things to clicks without using screws. Bye for now. Happy making.